This process starts in Maui. As the main shaper and designer here for Quattro, Goya, KT, we do surfboards, wing boards, foil boards, windsurf boards, stand-up boards, down, so I have a broad range of products. I rely, one, on being able to take all this information in and kind of get it going, but I also rely on a lot of other people to help me do that. And I'm so fortunate to have a team that I get to work with that's so tuned in. And I try to be as open as possible because I realize that even if you start here and maybe it's super extreme, you can always evolve, and it always does, and you're gonna get something positive out of it. In Thailand. We just got here from Maui. We're headed to the Cobra Factory. We're here to check out the new 2025 product range for KT, Goya, Quattro. And we're really gonna dive in and check out how these things are built. We're gonna get to take you through the factory and kind of show what our technology is about and what Cobra's capable of and all the new stuff that we're working on. It's pretty cool, all the factories that are actually around here. So this is a really an industrial area about an hour outside of Bangkok. So you've got Mitsubishi, you've got all sorts of different factories, super organized, clean. I've always been super impressed at the technology that's available just in this area. How are you doing? Okay, here we go. Thank you. So we're gonna head up to our, I guess we call it our quality control room. So all the stuff we're working on throughout the year to get put into the production, we get put in a room, and this is where we get to check out the graphics, the weights, the box positioning, all the details that are gonna make the board feel light, feel strong, look good, and be ready for the market. This is the moment that I wait for every time I come, so come on in. So check it out here. The boys are here, all working very hard. What's up, Lalo? How are you doing? Nice to see you. Adam, what's up, buddy? How are you doing? Dale, what's up? Good. Bjorn, how long has it been?
2019.
The last time you were here? Right on. So yeah, this is it. Check it out. So here we have, all of our new windsurfing range for, not new, all of it, but some of the windsurfing range for Goya. We've got all the new downwind boards for KT, some wing boards for KT, some extra special little projects over there. Got some beginner boards that we're working with, Cobra. So this is where we can make any final changes we want to make. There's a translation from what we send to what they produce for us as samples. These samples then we're going to look at and decide if that color's right, if that logo's right, if it's placed right, if the pad is proper, if the pad's too heavy, if the pad's placed properly, if it's wide enough, all these, if the insert's in the right spot. So this is really where we can make those last changes that for us, that the customer is going to get something that's light, tight, standing in the right spot, that's going to last, that looks good. All those details are so critical, and this is the last opportunity for us to actually do that. And the rockers look good, and I like the details in the tail. Like, they were really good. Yeah, they did a good job. super stoked. Details like that, tails, edges, all that stuff for us is, you know, kind of day to day, we do it. But when you're putting something into, you know, a production setting where you're producing a lot, we have specs for all these edges and how we want it to look. They actually have pictures on the spec, you can kind of see it. So you can kind of see here, they've got, you know, those things that show where we want edges and how it to look. And this comes off our 3D scan. The operator who's working on the tail can see what it needs to look like. And I mean, there's nothing better than a visual, you know, and then a template to follow up.
This is the latest scanner we have. We can collect all the data through this scanner. You will see because there are sensors on the board, so all the data will be collected directly into the board, and everything you see here through the scanner will be reported to the screen on the computer. Once this is done, we have completely reproduction of your master, so the fidelity is very high, and we can use this file also for machining the APS. So the accuracy of the product, once it's done, is 100% perfect. And this is the most important thing because, okay, we have the molded technology, but everything we molded, then we still refine the shape to be sure that everything is accurate. I think another good thing is that once we collect the data, we can share with you, and you can always have the data that the previous master to compare with the new master and see in detail what are the different, and maybe can even modify in the future some master.
That's so
once
cool.
we have the master here.
Yeah.
What are you doing is reflecting exactly on the computer.
So anytime it clicks, it's doing the last little pieces to put
exactly.
together.
Yeah,
like
because the more you go, the more
accurate.
pieces accurate put together.
Very cool.
Yeah. We can do whatever we want. We can look at the image, see if the scanning
Those
has
must
been
be
done
the
properly.
little, like,
yeah, that's the sensor.
The sensors, wow,
yeah.
cool.
And then you can see the ball from every angle.
Yeah, very cool.
If you want to see the rails.
It's very, the definition is amazing.
Yeah, it's
huh?
really cool.
Wow.
And you see how fast.
Yeah, that's what I was blown away by.
We are going to the section where we blow the APS.
Something special about Cobra that you do your own flow.
Yeah, and the best thing is that we can blow different density, and we can create cool stuff like we will see later today.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to move now the forklift.
It's going to put the beads.
Yeah, with the pellets.
Very cool.
And then we're going to put in the machine, and basically we're going to see how the process really works.
Yeah.
You see, the pellets are very small.
Yeah.
Okay, and depend from the type of pellet, we can expand different densities, not always the same. So,
Little pellets.
yeah. And these pellets, you will see after expansion, they still contain a pentane gas.
Okay.
This gas will be the, let's say, the fusion agent during the injection of the
gas.
coal. The steam
it bond.
together with, makes the bond. Together, the steam and the gas. Yeah. But also depend from the type of beads, the density of the beads. We need to keep in the silos. You see, there are many silos over there, and they have to keep for 24 hours, 48 hours. It depends from the type of beads you need to manage like that. Yes. And then from the silos, we'll go directly to the steaming area, where they're going to do the injection.
Very cool.
You see here, after each expansion,
See all that green up there.
but after the injection, we're going to put the one bucket, which is precise to check the density is correct. And here now is going to do the pre-expansion.
Very cool.
So on the PLC, he has many data.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned before, it's electronically, you can see the bits flying from
Oh, there
the
they are.
sponge. Yeah. You see inside now.
Ah, cool. Oh yeah, look at that. That's amazing. That's the
Yeah.
port. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
It's still warm, like popcorn.
Yeah.
We made
Look at that
popcorn.
shit moving. Yeah, you can feel the heat, the steam. There's the steam. Oh wow, it's like completely,
Yeah.
it's completely blown.
Yeah.
It's
It's
soft.
just like a popcorn, just
So,
fresh.
so that just
freshly
like
made.
pops it,
Yeah.
and then you use,
I'm gonna close because
Yeah.
it's fly away.
and then you use steam and the pentane to bond
So
it.
these beads contain already the gas, which need to be keep it in the silos for some time. Like
Yeah.
I told you, 24 hours, 40 hours, depends on the density, and then it's gonna be transferred to where we steam.
Okay.
And that's crucial because otherwise the bonding of the fusion of the beads is not gonna be okay.
Not that good.
So we have seen the way we expand the foam,
Yeah.
and as you know, we can expand different density. In this case, we are expanding now two density at the same time. One is the lower density, 15 gram, and on top we can put up to 36 gram.
Yeah.
This process in the past was done quite manually. Right now we have a PLC which is connected to the mold, so we can check the temperature of the mold, we can check the speed of the beads when we inject, and we can check the amount of the beads, as well the steaming process. The material right now has been just injected,
Okay.
but he's setting up all the parameters in the display. You can see
Oh, wow,
the steam
starting to steam.
start to coming up.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah. As well, the steam, it depends the size of the mold, depends the type of the mold, the type of the board.
Yeah.
We have the steaming coming from one side through the core to the other side. So you will see in a while the steam will start to come out. And basically once this is done, then we can open the mold and the core is ready.
How long does
for-
this process take?
About 20. Okay. Yeah, depend also from the size of the mold, again also from the steaming process and few other parameters. They had to wait for the signal to open. So means the mold went to the steaming process, to the fusion, to the cool down, and now is the time to yeah. Yeah, but this is what we try to do.
Yeah,
The reason why we also implement mold and other technologies is to be sure that doesn't matter the operator,
Yes.
we can guarantee a quality of the
That's
product.
what's so cool about the choice that we made going molded. All the boards are exactly the same.
Check how hard now.
Wow. That's amazing. This is a Super K right here, and this is blown blank. You can see how it comes out of the mold. It's all ready to go to throw in to the next stage of basically getting laminated and all the inserts and everything, and just popped in a mold and get, pop out, and we can then put the graphics and all that. So it's really close tolerance, which is amazing. Well, this is a higher density EPS than this. So different processes require different density foams. And we make that choice again. How strong, how light, how heavy, how balanced with the layup. It's all, the differences. You can see this is a little more open, a little bit of more of a bigger bead. And this is lighter, and this is more closed cell and smoother because it's a higher density.
So you might not have to put as strong a lamination on this as you would this. It's always a balance.
Actually, we call dual fusion core. Dual because basically there are two densities. Low density in the inner core,
Meaning lighter.
yeah, and high density on the sternum. So what we are trying here is to have one core similar to what we try to do with the sandwich construction. But in this case, it's just EPS, and all the core is fused in one go.
Yeah.
You don't need to thermoform the PVC, glue in the PVC, and so on.
Yeah, so basically you're creating a strong blank, and from here you can just laminate and put your carbon or whatever you want on. So that inner core is more there just to save weight and offer some structure as far as the shape. Then the outer core is for strength and impact, and then you can decide how thick or thin you want each core depending on weight to strength. It's a really cool concept, and what's even more cool about it is it's all fused, like Paolo was saying, and so it's all fused together. It's one, it's like a blank, and you're just creating different densities and weights within it. This, to me, in my mind, just leads to all sorts of avenues, and it's something new that Paolo came to us with, that he developed from our needs, like wanting lighter, stronger, whatever. He came up with this, and it was like a light bulb moment for me, because it ticks a lot of boxes. It's relatively easy to produce. You can consistently do it. There's
Yeah.
so many things. And
Another
then
advantage.
there's room to actually grow into the future to play with it even more. This is where all the blanks are stored. They store them in here, they press them, store them in here, and it allows the blanks to dry so that they're the lightest, strongest that they can be for when they go into production. It's amazing. I mean, you can see all sorts and sizes, and the fact that they take the time to dry them, which is important. They make their own foam, they go through that process, they do it the best possible way. Then the next step, they dry it, and then it goes off to production. In this way, they can also make blanks that are much closer tolerance, so you're wasting less materials. It's just the whole system is so well thought out. This area is where they store all the molds. There's hundreds of molds in this area. We have our KT, Quattro, Goya, all the molds for making all our boards.
All the factory is plenty of mold because basically some customer keep the mold up to 3 or 5 years. It depends how many shots we have done. Normally we guarantee for this type of mold about 500 shots.
Okay.
So if the mold is still not out of date, we
Yes.
still keep it.
Well, you can see these are all our molds.
Yeah.
This year's
You see the
ones, the Custom Pro, awesome.
Yeah, here because everything
So you
has
store them here, and then eventually you pull them
yeah,
when you
the
need 'em.
planning team has a full map of every mold in the factory. They
Yeah.
know exactly the position of the mold. So when they need to produce the board, they just come with the forklift, pick up the mold, and bring to production area. This
Oh
is
look,
the
this is
nitro.
the 26 Nitro. That's awesome. So these are all our molds.
2023.
Yeah, so we got this year, 26. These are the brand new molds that we're here to, to put into production and check them out and just do the QC on it all. The last decisions.
There is a commitment from our side to keep the mold until it's suitable for production, until didn't pass the number of shots.
Yeah.
Eventually, if the mold is still okay, we can extend, but if not, then we request to the customer to replace the mold with a new one.
Yes.
Yeah, you see all.
This is all our lines. Yeah, that's awesome. love this part. It's so cool.
You love the angle like this.
Yeah, well, it's cool. Look at that. I mean, you can see all the
Yeah, I see.
inserts, the patches, just all the prep. It's all the prep that's really important. Yeah.
So we prefix the mask like that with the resin aerosol. The same thing for the insert.
The
The insert has a pin.
Yeah, there's a pin.
Yeah, so
Okay,
the
yeah.
position is always guaranteed.
Very cool.
And the same thing for the
And
mask.
so that's how it comes out. Like when it's like
Yeah.
that, that's the
Yeah,
wood.
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, we
very
just
cool.
put the basic reinforcement, especially if we want to achieve certain type of glass or carbon look
Yeah.
once the board is finished.
Yes.
So we get the benefit of the mold
Yes.
because we keep the consistency of the shape. We don't need anyone rework on the board. The more you rework on the board, the more is the
More people touch it,
more
the
people-
more it can change.
Correct. That's
So
right.
that-
From
look
here,
at that.
we can get the perfect sandwich board
Yeah.
where the seam, there is no seam. You can
Yeah.
see the bottom of the PVC
That's
comes
amazing.
to the edge. Perfect.
Yeah, you can see
Okay.
that rail around this.
We can diversify the density of the PVC.
Yeah.
We can diversify the thickness, and everything come out perfectly smooth. So there
all
is
the boxes are
all
already
the
in,
boxes are already
everything.
there.
That's so
We
cool.
close the box this way, so there is no resin.
Well, also, I think you can then control, like, you can try different things, and you can look at the weights as they come out, and you can
Yeah,
compare,
exactly.
and
Exactly.
it's a good base.
And
That's awesome.
also having the reinforcement in this way, we don't have additional steps. So this guarantee easy sanding.
Easy sanding.
So there is
exactly.
there is
Like you don't sand
we
through the
avoid
layers.
we avoid over sanding
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
things like this. We have also the insert fully laminated with the fabric coming out, so the insert very secure.
Yeah.
As well for the mask box.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Also all the reinforcement inside. You can see all the patches and things like that. As you can see here, you can see the steps of
Oh,
the
for
different
the
thickness
foam.
of the PS, so we
Very
can
cool.
diversify the thickness on
Yeah.
each area
Yeah.
to get the bow as light as possible. And
Very
then
cool.
we have a full wrap of the fiber according, of course, to the layout that the customer choose. And so we have a full wrap, and something like this is basically impossible to do in a custom process.
Yeah,
so
it is,
we have
for sure.
benefit of
Yeah.
the molded production,
Yeah.
but still keeping the
The custom feel, the shape,
the shape,
and all that.
the high
Yeah,
technology.
that's great. I love this.
Yeah.
How you can pre-program it all and just put it
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. So we use pigment. In this case, we
So you
use
can see
yellow
it.
pigment, so the operator can see where
Yeah.
we put the resin. Of course, each operator is fully trained before to come to the line. You can see they have different t-shirts, depend from
Oh, is that what it is?
yeah,
Ah, okay,
from
cool.
the more expert operator.
Yeah,
Or
he's
sometimes
learning.
we get people that also we train before, so they're learning. Or we have a task force in Thai people, but also Cambodian people.
And are they? Do you weigh the resin that they put
Yeah,
in? Or-
of course. Actually,
there's
the
a
way
certain
we do,
amount.
we have a proper, maybe I can show you, we have a proper breakdown of the weight in each step. So
How
we
much
measure the
resin can
weight
put?
of the fiber, and then according to the weight of the fiber, we prepare exactly that amount. In
So
relation
there's no
to the,
like guessing.
yeah, there is no guessing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it can be sometimes small different, but it's always under control.
Yeah.
Here they prepare the lamination.
What a process, dude.
Yeah. Has to be
like-
synchronized.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But I mean to get,
Yeah.
it's so
And here
cool.
also we have a reference number of the board, so we
It's
have
in
the,
it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have the production serial number
Yeah.
which need to match with the production order and things like that. So we have very good tracking record of what we do during the process.
Yeah.
And once the board is finished, we can go back and see what was the weight in each station. So here we have also already a pre-box, as you know, can be PU, can be PVC, depend from the customer
they do
decision.
that.
Then they have all the reinforcement. So everything will be added, everything is already prepared, tailor-made to the size of the board.
And you guys,
There
like,
is-
we really worked hard on that.
Yeah,
this
for
year,
sure.
for all the little
Yeah,
sizes
again,
of patches.
we cannot just start production without having everything pre-made.
Yeah.
Basically, we can really take whatever you do in Maui and refine the process in a mass production way.
In a mass production way, for sure.
But everything in terms of fiber, in
consistency,
terms of
consistency.
Yeah.
That looks like 2 ounce.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So what we have been trying to do with the mold technology is to replicate in a more scientific way the custom process. That's why the deck of the board is much lighter and can take perfectly shape of the board.
That's what we want.
And the bottom actually is very strong to maintain the proper rocker line.
Especially with the 5 or 6 mil on the bottom,
Exactly. So we have, you know, epoxy has a fast hardener and very slow hardener.
Yes.
So we all blend these two hardener to ensure that depend also the season. It's very warm here, but still we have season. So depend on the season, on the size of the board, we always mix the two hardener to really
And that's a spec that you have in place for each size board?
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. So we have been already classified size of the board or complexity of the board, and we can tailor-make the racing to that.
Yeah, because some are a little more complicated, so you have to take a little more time.
And sometimes we have big race board, which are very complex. We have lagger board and other things.
Very freaking cool. Okay, so check it out. This is the stage where they flip it, put it together. Look at that beauty. Wow.
Yeah, turn around.
Cool.
Okay.
So all the pins, it just pulls right out.
All the inside, and this will be trimmed properly. So the PVC.
Look at that. I mean, it's pretty much.
You see all the rails.
The rails covered. Amazing. That's amazing.
You can look
at that. See that precision right there? It's
you
epic.
can see it.
Yeah. It's so important. It's the details.
Yeah.
You can tune it up. Very cool.
So we have 2 times a way that we can keep the shape correct. One is because the shape at the end is defined by the mold, which is exactly the replica of your board. On top of this, we still check the template to ensure that everything is well maintained.
Well, this is where you want the roundness, the edge, and all that. You know, you can tune it up, get that curve just right. You can see here there's no edge, whereas back here, you can see that there's an edge right there. So you can, you know, all these specs are in place to get the perfect shape, exactly how I want it.
Well, basically, once we have the PVC already perfect, then we're going to do a more custom process. We can add any type of fiber, we can add any type of reinforcement.
Just like our layup in Maui with the, we do the same. We tape it, we grind it, pull the tape. Very cool.
Actually, we use this field ply, which is very thin, to reduce the pinholes as much we can already. If you use the classic one with this,
that creates more pinholes.
It's thicker.
Okay.
Yeah, because the texture is bigger.
It's thicker.
This is fine texture, so we can reduce the amount of pinholes.
That's so cool. Feels so
you
good.
have electricity sometimes too.
Look at that finish.
Yeah, you see how the finish.
And also then it takes less hot coat, everything.
Yeah, exactly. And very smooth for
Very
racing.
smooth. Impressive.
Then okay, they will prepare for the.
Yeah. It's perfect. That's what's so cool about molds and vacuum lamp. It's such a good mix.
The identification number also appear here.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically the shape's already there.
Yeah.
And now it's just putting the stripes around it and our patches and our layup from Maui that we developed with you guys. It's epic. Nice. So cool. And every stage you
Basically, we replicate the
every
process
stage,
the same
every
way,
stage,
so you
every
can see the
stage is the
consistency is
same.
very
Yeah.
high.
same amount of resin, same amount of cloth, the patches, everything. So they're wiping it down with like a tack cloth to get any like powder or like dust off of it. So prepping the paint, and they develop these machines here to like spin it.
Yeah, this is the way we can ensure that the board is painted in one go, one shot.
That's amazing. That's the,
You don't need to touch.
yeah.
And actually, after that, we'll go in the oven because we care that not just the paint, but mainly the resin probably post-cure. So we have two stations before painting and after painting, where the board go to 60 degrees, so we can reach a proper ITG. So when we ship the board in the
Ramp up and then ramp down? For the-
no, most important that reach the temperature of 60 degrees for
Okay.
determined hours.
Yeah.
It will be 4 hours in this case. The good thing is that each customer needs to maintain his identity,
Yeah.
his proper way of producing the board, developing the board.
Yeah.
That's why we have high knowledge in the
Yeah.
factory, and we can keep for every customer his own design, his own shape, his own
Well, we put
layouts
so
and
much
things like
energy
this.
into our layups and our way a board feels, so it's important for us to get that.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that we have the opportunity to do our layup
Yeah.
with the laps that we like and the layup and the pads and all that. Very cool.